Well, hello, folks. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. And we've got an interesting discussion for you here, I think, today. We're going to talk about words. Yes, that's it. We're just going to talk about words. And what I really want to talk about with words is the fact that the Christ said that by your words, you are either justified or by your words, you are condemned. You're either justified or you are condemned. How about that? Very, very interesting stuff. You're either justified or you're condemned. By what? By the words that you say. Justified or condemned by the words that you say. That's very interesting. That's very strong. And I think that's very, very powerful. And we can either take that to heart and use it to change our lives, or we can kind of not take it too seriously and we can suffer the consequences of that. Because the Christ said that by your words you'll either be justified or you will be condemned. And we talked earlier with Tamu Ngina, and she talked about the fact that your words make a tremendous difference in your life, and they certainly do. We talked about things like saying, why am I so fat? Why am I so stupid? Why doesn't anything ever work out for me? Why can't I ever find a good girlfriend? Why can't I find a good boyfriend? Those are words, but those words have power. They have resonance. They have energy. And not to mention that you're sending out unbalanced energy out into the world. So you're not doing the world any favors, and you're not also doing yourself any favors. So the thing to keep in mind is that words mean things. And we talked yesterday, or I don't know if it was yesterday, but it was not too long ago, we talked about a little word. And that little word that we talked about was the word bless. Remember that? We talked about the word bless. And we found out that the word bless means to cover with sacrificial blood. To cover with the blood of human sacrifice, to cover with the blood of animal sacrifice, to cover with the blood of sacrifice. Not a very appetizing, not a very fun, not a very enjoyable thing. So we realize that words that we say mean things. Do you really want to say, bless me? Do you really want to say, cover me with sacrificial blood? I don't think so. I really don't think that you want to say, cover me with sacrificial blood. I don't think that's something that you really want to be practicing. I really don't. It's not something that I think is helpful or conducive to you for being a powerful and an energetically powerful person. And also think about this. Doesn't the word bless actually have the connotations of, and it really does if you think about it, of this? Be less. Because when you bless someone, when you bless something, you make yourself be less, because you never bless something that's greater, that's less than you. You never bless something that you don't think you're less than. When you bless, you actually are making yourself you be less. So not only does it mean to cover with sacrificial blood, it also has the meaning of be less. And if you think that this is stretching it, don't think that people don't understand what words mean. Words have power. Words really are spelling, like casting spells. So be less is something very important. I got a package today from one of my friends out in Hawaii. And talking with Tamu and also talking with her about this kind of got me off on this. I don't know if you can read this the right way, if it's the right way or not. I think it is. Yeah. Look at what it says right there. Real eyes realize real lies. See, it's not only the way the words, but the way the words are used. Realize real lies. And that's so true. Real eyes, when they're opened, will realize the real lies. And that's what we're doing here, trying to get you to the place where you'll realize with your real eyes the real lies. Let's look at another word. Okay, how about that word? Religion. Okay, religion. We may not really like religion, but, you know, it's religion. But what about if you do this to it? Now you've got religion or religion. Do you remember when the Christ was talking to that big bad demon and he said, "What's your name?" And he said, "I am Legion, for we are many." Religion doesn't want you to be free. Religion doesn't want you to be sovereign, divine, or free. Religion wants you to be legioned, wants you to be subject to the demons and the unbalanced entities. So if you ever, that's why they want you to, that's why you have to go and do things religiously, because you have to be religioned all the time. Because if you're not continuously religioned, you might become delegioned, and then they've lost a hold on you. So be less by being into religion. Get yourself redemonized. Get yourself refit, refilled, reoppressed by unbalanced entities. So there's bless or be less. There's religion or religion. And how about this one? This is a long word. I don't know how it'll fit. How about that word? Salvation. Well, Jeff, what the heck is wrong with salvation? I mean, salvation, I mean, we all want salvation, right? Well, do we all want salvation? Or is that not a Christian term? Because what if you take a look at this? Oh, salvation? How about salvation? Salivation. Salivation. The rat bastard salivates when you accept salvation because he knows that he can feast on your energetic essence. Salvation, salivation. That's why the rat bastards, angels in heaven rejoice when someone gets saved, because they're salivating. They're salivating over the fact that they get somebody else to eat and feed off of. Wow. Bless, cover with sacrificial blood, human sacrifice, animal sacrifice. Be less through blessing, because you're exteriorizing your divinity and you're less putting yourself under something. When the Christ said, worship the God that's inside you, the spark of divinity. Here's another one that'll blow your mind. So salvation, salivation, religion, religion. How about this? Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Now, how do I get that baby back to where I want it? There we go. Here's one for you. And this goes in with what we talked about just earlier today. Praise. Oh, come on, Jeff. There ain't nothing wrong with praise. I mean, praise, right? Praise. We like praise. Well, how about if you do this? How about if you do P-raise? Now stay with me for a second. P raise. P raise. What does it do? You go into a praise and worship service. They get you all hyped up with the clapping, the Thanksgiving. They get you moving in with the praise, and then they get you all with the worship. They get you into a trance state. And what happens in a trance state? We talked about it earlier today. Your analytical mind shuts down. You're getting it. Your reactive mind can come up. When the analytical mind is shut down, the active mind can come up. But more importantly than that, the fight or flight mind can come up. What is the fight or flight mind? It's the reptilian mind. What does this look like? Doesn't that look like a little snaky snake? He's got his head raised up. Because what? We're going to raise that snake. I mean, put a little diddly-do tongue right there. It's a snake. Praise is designed to raise the P, to raise the fight or flight, to raise the reactive mind, to shut off the analytical mind. Praise is a energetic work in P raising. Raising your P, raising your little snaky head. P raise. Oh, wow. Wow. P raise. Salivation. Be less. That's some interesting stuff. Let's just go over those one more time. B, well, let's do it let's do it this way. B, come on, man. Be less. Religion. Salvation, as in salivation. Let me move my dealio up here. And then finally we got P raise. Look at that. Be less by getting your religion, which makes them salivate as you raise your P. Wow. What do you think about that? Words mean things. Words mean things. Words mean things. How about that? Let's go to the chat room and see what we have going on. I think this and you guys are part of my path. Great. Kay, nice to have you back. I think this and you guys are part of my path. There used to be a chat thing on the net called MIRC. I talk to people over the world, and it was so much fun. No doubt. Hang in there. Absolutely. We want everybody to hang in there, don't we? Let's go back up to the very tippity top. There it is. Back to the very tippity. No, it's not. There we go. Pissings. Jerry doesn't like to say be less, so he says pissings to everyone. Put the little bell on, Kay, and I'll notify you when Jeff comes on. Yeah, just make sure you re-subscribe because they keep unsubscribing people. My husband's on his computer. They say I'm talking too much. I got to go make some PB&Js. Watching a few of your videos. Already aware of some of your sharing. Found you through Wayne. Great, Constance. Glad to have you. Did this chat room continue from the last video? I don't know, Chris. It might have. I was starting my reading of your book in the New Testament. Perfect, Clara. I actually made it to the live chat. Welcome, Michelle. Do we wish for a person to be healed and no more believe? There's another word, believe. Be live. You're belived. If you believe in the religious, the whole religious context. If you believe in this whole religious context, what are you? If you're believing in this religious context, let's look at that one. That's a great one. I know you probably didn't mean it that way, but B-L-I-V-E-D. Be-lived. You're being lied. That's what I'm going for there. You're being, kind of forget the V. You're being lied. You're be-lied. If you believe, you're being be-lied to. Maybe, maybe not, but I like it. And play on raise is raise. Yeah, and a play on raise is raise. I like that. Be leaving a lie. Exactly. You're leaving a lie. Look up corpse and corporation sometime. Oh, there's a good one. I asked you this in a comment on your last video, but others might benefit, so I ask it here as well. Go for it, Chris. What'd you ask? You have my attention for now, and what you're discussing is worthy to have one's attention. Perfect, Richard. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. That's some interesting stuff. That really is. So there you go. Just something to think about. Just something to ponder. Just something to put into your peace pipe and smoke it. Just a little something to get you to the place where you're listening to the words you say. Oh yeah, if you had one video you'd recommend for a very indoctrinated family, I'm probably going to do one, Chris, because we need to have one. I think one of the central things you can show people is that the New Testament is completely and totally out of order, so you can't really understand what happened. But I need to do one that's Jeff Light, where I don't say anything about rat bastard or any of that stuff. I'm going to probably do one, and I'll have it up. I'll put it up there, and I'll put we'll make it, I don't know, I'll give it a name for it. This is the one to share, or something like that. So that way we'll have something to share, because you're not the first one to ask that. But I think that a video about how the New Testament is completely jumbled would make people say, what? And it might be a good entry point. So Chris, thanks. I will do that. So folks, keep this in mind. By your words, you will be justified, or by your words, you will be condemned. And I don't want you to be condemned. I want you to be justified. I want you to maintain your freedom. That's what the word justified means. Maintain my freedom. By your words, you'll either maintain your freedom or you'll be condemned and put into jail. That's what that means in the Greek. Think about that. By your words, you maintain your freedom, or by your words, you are incarcerated. Think about moving these out of your, think about what you're saying, but always make sure that you're saying something that's empowering and helpful. Not why am I so fat, but how could I lose some more weight? I told someone a truther about you a while ago. He knows about all the lies except in the Bible. Yeah, and sometimes they won't accept the lies in the Bible. It's all right to find out about 9/11, and it's all right to find out about, Oklahoma City. It's all right to find out about the Fed. It's all right to find out about the New World Order, but don't you touch my King James Bible, even though it's as big a part of the deception as the passport that miraculously survived the 9/11 bombing. Well, with that, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, and let's think about what we say, and let's start making sure that our words are building blocks and not wrecking balls for the life that we want to live. Keep on indoctrinating yourself. Keep unwinding your mind. Be your own guru. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Be excellent to yourself. So then you can be excellent to each other, because that's when it really starts working well. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and we'll see you again real soon.